So someone had a good question, and I figured I'd address it today, and that is, do I prefer Bermuda or Zoysia? And what are the pluses and minuses about both? I'm not going to get real in depth, but let's talk about it. Hey guys, so I woke up at 5:15 this morning. I went fishing, and it was crazy. And of course, I didn't take a camera with me. I caught like 15 whiting. I caught a 60-pound shark. I had my cast net. I was catching these huge mullet. I caught about 100 menhaden. So I got all kinds of bait stacked up in the freezer. It was a great morning. But I came home and I realized after this, we had a real heavy rain the other day. And man, this yard just exploded. So, as you know, I've been putting just green shocker and super juice on this lawn, sort of nursing it back to health. And today I got to cut it. I got to cut the front lawn. I got to cut the outside the fence, which I use a rotary mower for because there's too many rocks and shells. And then I really need to go cut the back because I planted zoysia, and all that zoysia is starting to sprout up. And I need to keep the other grass low, so I got to cut everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you out front, and I have a unique situation in that I have actually Bermuda grass and zoysia grass growing side by side. Outside the fence, the Bermuda grass survived after the drought because there's no irrigation over there. And inside the fence, I have irrigation, so the zoysia is doing well. So let's go look. Outside the fence, this is mostly Bermuda over here. A little bit of crabgrass growing, but that's mostly Bermuda out here. And then inside the fence, I have all zoysia. So there's Bermuda and there's zoysia. Okay, so we're going to take a look at it in the sunshine, and this is all zoysia right here. This is all zoysia. Very, very tight, very, very thick, and spongy almost. It's very spongy. This is actually Bermuda right here. Very similar looking, a little bit narrower blade. Not as spongy, but very, very thick. The biggest difference, I think, between the two grasses is going to be the aggressiveness. And I talk about this later in the video. I'm going to go over and talk more in depth about the two different grasses, the types of seeds, the characteristics. I'll talk more about that. Now, we do cover a lot of this in the lawn guides, and I know I repeat myself all the time, but some of you guys are here for the first time, so we have lawn guides for each type of grass. It's a full lawn guide, calendar, every subject you can think about, bugs, grubs, seeding, cutting, everything. So Zoysia lawn guide, Bermuda lawn guide, and Cool Season all have their own websites. Go to freelawncareguide.com. Download it, use it, it's free. No apps, no emails, we don't bug you, just use it. It's up there for free. So I'm going to do something unique today too. It's not today, tomorrow. Hit subscribe because you don't want to miss this. You know I planted zoysia in the back here, and it's just not aggressive as Bermuda. So here's what I'm going to do. It's all coming up, it'll do fine, but I'm going to mix in some Bermuda seed back here too. Plus, I also am going to go across the street. My neighbor, I'm going to do a little bit of seeding of Bermuda over there because his grass is weak and his kids are always out there playing soccer. So I said, hey, let me throw out some Bermuda seed for you. So I'm going to throw some out over there too. So we got a lot of stuff going on. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the front real quick. I'll put that up. And then I'll put my sort of discussion. We'll just sit down and we'll sort of just talk about the two different seeds and go from there. By the way, if you are still in your push zone, so if you have Bermuda or have zoysia and your lawn is not super thick and look fantastic, you should be putting out still PGF Complete right now, folks. PGF Complete every 3 or 4 weeks, hitting it with PGF Complete. Hopefully Dirt Booster will come back online here this coming week, and I really want you guys to start putting out Dirt Booster, which will add that carbon and that organic matter, and that has really done so much for our lawn. So anyways, I'll link to everything below, including the reel mower, the Dirt Booster, the seed, everything is down, the lawn guides. I'll link in the description below. There's one link and everything will be on there. Here we go. All right, so let's talk about the two mowers I'm using and mowers you might use as well too. So the first one is the rotary. This is a Honda HRX 217. It's a self-propelled mower, man. It's just an awesome mower. I did a review on this mower last year sometime, so it's on our channel. It's on the website. You can get away, obviously, with cutting Bermuda. If you're cutting a little bit taller, you're going to get a lot of these scalping and brown marks on Bermuda. it doesn't work out well. Whenever you're using a riding or rotary, especially later in the season, you're going to see those brown patches and scalp marks. You're going to get that with Bermuda with this. Zoysia actually cuts pretty well. My lawn guy, when I'm not here, he uses this exact mower to cut this, and it looks great. So you can use a rotary on Zoysia. That is one benefit. Let's talk about the real mower. So you all know that I'm a McLean fan, and the reason why I'm a McLean fan is because I believe if you're going to get a real mower, you need to get a 25-inch wide wheel real mower. It's not about lawn size, it's about the cut and how it's forgiving on your bumps in the yard. So the wider the mower, the more forgiving it is. That's why I only use a 25. I link to these down below. It's fantastic. Now, real mowers aren't cheap. You're going to spend about $2,000 on a 25-inch for one of these McLeans. Honda's motors are tough to come by, just so you know. But get the Briggs and Stratton, save yourself $200 or whatever it is. The Briggs motors nowadays are awesome. They're very good motors. So you can get one of these. I'll link to it down below in the description. You can go buy it and order it. Awesome mower. Again, when you're cutting Bermuda, you're going to want to keep your Bermuda short, people. You're going to want to keep your Bermuda at somewhere around 3/4 of an inch to an inch tall. That's where Bermuda likes to be. Google it. Any extension office will tell you that too. When you start to go tall with it, you get into messes. Zoysia, the same thing with Zoysia. Zoysia, you don't want to let it get tall. Do not let your Zoysia get up over 3 inches tall. You want to keep it lower. Remember, both these grasses are super thick and dense, and they grow really tight. So you want to keep both these grasses anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to maybe 1.5 inches. And I'm telling you, if you really want good looking short grass, this is the way to go. It's self-propelled, very simplistic. Yes, there are tons of European style mowers that are nicer and better quality maybe than this, but you're looking at $4,000 to $6,000 for those mowers. For a 25-inch, not small. I'm not talking a 20-inch, I'm talking 25. But I'm telling you, once you use a 25-inch reel mower, regardless of your lawn size, you'll never go smaller. You'll never go back. And that's because these are so forgiving. This lawn out here is so bumpy. You'll see it's really bumpy, but man, it just cuts beautifully. So anyways, yes, I am biased when it comes to the reel mower because it's simplistic. I have a ton of these things. I have probably 5 or 6 of the McLeans. I also have a True Cut, and I do like that Honda as well too. So that looks pretty good there. I'm happy with that. Man, it just looks so good. From seed, it's just about a year old now. Okay, so let's talk Bermuda versus Zoysia. Which one do I like the best? Which one do I recommend? Well, first of all, you might hear some thunder in the background because we got some clouds rolling in here down at the beach. It really is a tough call. I love my Zoysia down here. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I think it needs a little bit more cutting than Bermuda, believe it or not. So I can go either way. I love my Bermuda yard at home. Let's just compare the two. And I think the biggest difference, like I said before, I think is the aggressiveness. Bermuda is extremely aggressive and is a fast spreader. It'll just grow everywhere. If you have bare spots and if you fertilize it, you put down PGF complete on Bermuda, it's going to grow into, or even balance if you need the balance. It's going to grow and fill all those areas. I've shown that before. Bermuda is very aggressive. It's very self-healing. It's just more aggressive, I think, than Zoysia. Zoysia gives you a little bit more spongy, dense sort of surface. I believe you really have fewer weeds with Zoysia because it creates such a dense and spongy surface. But if you have any problems with irrigation or lack of water, I think they're probably both about the same. Ease of planting, probably both about the same. But I will say this, Bermuda has a lot more options. It has a lot more options on sod because it's used more readily in homes. And it has a ton more options on seed. So let me give you an example. I'm gonna do some reseeding back here, and I'm gonna throw some Bermuda back in here, and I'm gonna go across to my neighbor who has a yard full of just crap grass. Who knows what it is. And I'm gonna put down some Bermuda seed for him too. I can go and I can find probably 40 types of hybrid Bermuda seed. And let me explain the difference between common and hybrid. Common Bermuda grass, and I did a video on this. You can go search on my previous, and in the lawn guide, I talk specifically about common Bermuda versus hybrid. So common Bermuda, if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you find a bag of Bermuda seed like this that costs $10, it's going to be common Bermuda grass. They will not say that on the bag. It will not identify, but it will be common. It's a thicker, heavier blade. It does not look like the golf course fairway, thin, really soft, fine Bermuda grass. Those are hybrids. So when you put down sod, it's a hybrid. There is no seed for it. However, over the years, they have developed seeds, like it used to be Princess 77, what are some other names? Yukon, Royal, Mirage. There are all kinds of really high quality Bermuda seeds that you can use. There may be 40, 50 Bermuda seeds. When it comes to Zoysia, I only know of one seed, and that's Zenith. And Zenith, in comparison to Bermuda, I would call Zenith Zoysia almost common Zoysia grass. When you look at Zoysia sod, it's going to be a fine blade. And many of you guys have made a comment saying, gosh, Doc, your Zoysia doesn't look like mine. It has really thick blades. And yes, that's because it's more of a common Zoysia grass. So when you buy Zenith seed, it's going to be a little bit thicker blade. But I love it. I love it down here at the beach house. Would I want to do 20,000 square feet in Zoysia? I don't know. Zoysia needs a lot of cutting. I mean, I'm out here. If you take care of it, if you water it, you feed it, it's like every other day I need to cut this grass just about. Both grasses need to be kept short. Bermuda grass, of course, if you're one of the yard geeks like us, you want to keep it at ½ an inch and have that fairway look. The majority of people, the average homeowner, needs to keep their Bermuda grass between, I would say, 1 to 1.5 inches. And to do that, a lot of times you need a reel mower. Zoysia grass, a big mistake people make with Zoysia grass is letting it get tall, 3, 4, 5 inches tall. You've got to keep Zoysia cut low too. And I'm saying about the 1 to 1.5 inch mark. Otherwise, it's going to get too spongy and too dense and cause problems with disease and bugs. So between the two of them, I don't know. I honestly, I love them both equally. Like I said, I love this lawn, this Zoysia lawn down here. I love my Bermuda lawn at home. I think I enjoy cutting this lawn more because it's smaller. I do. I go out here, I take my reel mower, And I cut this lawn, and it maybe takes me about 20 minutes. I break a little bit of a sweat. I put it away. I blow. I weed eat, and it's just real nice. People walk by every day. People walk by and take pictures of our lawn, talk and say how nice it is. At home, when we're going to cut the Bermuda grass, man, it's a project. I mean, it's an hour and a half long cut. Even Ryan's like, oh man, I got to go over the house and cut your Bermuda today. I was like, yep, you sure do. So I think I enjoy the Zoysia more because it's on a smaller yard, but as far as which one is better or which one I like better, I like them both equally. But that's just some of the things. Remember, when it comes to Bermuda grass, you cannot use common Bermuda grass seed to reseed your sod. It's going to look stupid. You're going to have different color, different texture. You have to go with the hybrid. And I have a place on our website where I link to these seeds. Now this is Royal TXD. Royal TXD, and I'll link to it on Amazon. This bag is 5 pounds and it costs $100. So that's about what the good quality seed, about $20, $25 a pound for good quality Bermuda seed. That's what it's going to cost. You can't go out and buy a bag of good quality Bermuda seed for 15, 20 bucks. It's not going to happen. It's expensive, but it goes a long way. Germination, I will talk about germination on the seeding too. They both range usually between 6 and 14 days. You can get slow germination. This Zoysia started germinating probably in about 7 or 8 days back here. It's slow to establish, but I will tell you that front yard looks great after a year. So I know I didn't sort of hold your hand and give you and tell you which one to go with, but they both have the similar look, similar feel, and equal qualities as far as disease resistance and cutting and height and all of it. They're very close. So anyways, hit subscribe and I'll talk to you later. Bye.